Have you ever wondered how certain beliefs can subject thousands of people to death?
Being able to express oneself individually, being able to live amongst people with other beliefs, and being able to choose how you worship.
These normalities, to us, are a wish to many others.
Many individuals live in a world where fear is normal.
Where the slightest thing can turn off the light that is their identity, or even their life.
Groups exist today that have a purpose to have total control of others' religious beliefs.
Religion in the closed walls of the United States is far different from the multiple other countries who rule through the control of religion.
Freedom of religion is protected in the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, but not all countries have this privilege.
The struggle of religious freedom has been living in this world for a large number of years.
But the burning question still remains. Will it ever end?
Neo-Orwellianism
Is present in our world today.
We are controlled by our government.
And in some places, there's little to no individuality.
Hi, I'm Blake, and I'm going to college for religious studies.
Hi, I'm Alexander Amond. I'm a retired 89-year-old American who is a college graduate, and I love my country.
Hi, my name's Caroline Benison, and I'm an 18-year-old working American, and I love my country.
Yeah, we are, well, the U.S. is certainly a little bit controlled, but obviously other countries like North Korea and China, their internet is, they're controlled about what they watch, what they do. And some parts of the United States is somewhat like that, with the FBI, I guess, listening to what we talk on our cell phones, I guess reading our messages and things. So, I mean, we're definitely controlled by our government.
I believe that the government has certain rights to control me, particularly in the area of safety and other areas of the, for instance, in finance and the like. However, I feel that I am do most of the things that I want to do in my life for myself and for my family that are reasonable and appropriate.
I think to an extent we are controlled by our government, but I believe that the government is there to protect us and protect our rights. And I think that they can control us because they're trying to protect the rights of others. Like, I think the laws control us to an extent, but those are all made and put in place to protect all of the citizens. Like, oh, I can't go out and kill somebody. Oh, I can't go out and rape anybody or anything like that. And if I do, I'm punished. And I feel like to that extent, yes, we are controlled, but I don't think it's necessarily a negative thing.
Yes, there are religious conflicts going on, such as Iran and Saudi Arabia, how they don't have the freedom to express their religion and have to practice their own religion because they will be killed or they will be imprisoned for how they believe and what they believe in. So, yeah.
I think there are religious conflicts somewhat here in the United States, but on a minor level, whereas in the Middle East there are severe conflicts between Arabs, Jews, and Muslims, which impact on the rest of the world because they cause military conflict.
I think that there are many religious conflicts across the world because I think in many countries religious powers have too much power, especially within the government. That's why I think a secular government is the way to go. But in countries like Iran or even North Korea, they do have a much wider control over their people than in America or countries like America. And I think especially in Iran, the Muslim population is dominant, and in a lot of ways the government is not secular. So it imposes religious ideals and beliefs on its people, whether they're Muslim or not, and I think that's very negative. And also in North Korea, I think they restrict any religious beliefs, and I think in a way that's them trying to get their people to worship the government more than a deity.
Religious freedom is necessary because everybody should be able to believe in what they want to and how they should believe it, and no one should tell them otherwise.
Religious freedom is a necessary freedom that is required as we are human beings and need to be enforced in law so that religious freedom is available to all.
I believe that religious freedom is necessary everywhere. I love my country. We have religious freedom. We're doing great. So I think it's amazing.
A pro of religious freedom is that religion has inspired many works of art, sculpture, paintings, and statues. A con is that it often creates conflict between other religions because some religious people believe that their religion is the right and only religion, and other people believe the same thing, and it can cause a conflict and often can result in a war.
A pro of religious freedom is that many charities are run by religious organizations, and they're providing essential help to the needy on the planet. A con to religious freedom is that some religions discourage people from living their full life because they tell them that they will get another superior life after they've died.
A pro of religious freedom is that it provides a sense of identity for people. So people like to be able to relate in like minds with each other, and therefore religion provides them a sense of identity, a sense of belonging, a sense of respect, and that all makes it important for people to feel that they have something that they can live together with. A con of religious freedom is that people may use their religion to justify wrongdoings. There are several examples of that in most recent history, with bombings and killings, all based upon religious rights. Look at the Jewish synagogue massacre, most recently the Virginia Beach shooting, and others are prime examples of how religious freedom can be used in a way of wrongdoing.
A pro of religious freedom is that it is kept free from the hands of government control. People are free to choose whatever religion they want, and the government cannot come in and tell them which way they should be worshiping. A con of religious freedom is that it can be restrictive in thought. People can feel as though they must adhere to a strict rule of law and only worship one book or one person. It can also lead to cult-like beliefs and a warping of individuals.
A pro of religious freedom ensures the survival of different religious practices. Just think of a world where everyone adopted the same religion. There would be no diversity, there would be only one worshiper, and we would all be believing in the same thing. What makes the world so wonderful is the fact that there are different religious beliefs and that people can have the freedom to believe what they want and worship what they want. A con of religious freedom is that it promotes discrimination. Just think of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and why it had to be passed. It was because to give people the freedom of rights for religion and both discrimination. So in my line of work, there were several conditions where people felt as though they were discriminated against because they couldn't work past certain hours or they couldn't work on Sundays, and they felt they were discriminated against because work mandated that they needed to work those particular hours. So it does promote discrimination, but there are things in place and practices in place that you can put in place to not allow that to happen.
Neo-Orwellianism is present and growing every day in the changing world.
It is used to explain a situation or idea that George Orwell considered destructive to the welfare of an open society.
Individuals are controlled by the government without their knowledge.
This is done through social media, cultures, the economy, politics, technology, and religion.
Each of these aid in the government control over the individual, and every passing day, more and more people forget they're being watched and overpowered.
According to X Index, there are 8 countries that not only suppress religious expression on a dangerous level, but they systematically torture and detain people who cross political and social red lines around faith.
People are physically and mentally hurt for showing their true beliefs.
Although there are 8 countries which are on their watch list of severely violating human rights, according to the National Public Radio, 70% of the world population does not have religious freedom.
Religious Orwellianism is seen all over the world and sometimes in the worst circumstances.
BBC News covered a story on a girl named Malala, whose story was provoked by a certain religion taking over.
When Malala was 15, she was shot in the head for going to school by the Taliban in her country of Pakistan.
They shot her because they were following local Muslim traditions for women not to attend school.
The Sun News also covered a few individual stories of people being publicly killed due to things they have done against the country's religion.
For example, in Saudi Arabia this year, there has already been over 100 people executed. They are found guilty of betraying the religion of the country through their birth-given religious identity and social medias.
These executions were public, and just as shown in the book Brave New World, people came and watched the massacres.
An argument against religious freedom is that people can use religion as an excuse for wrongdoings, and according to the Gospel Coalition, some people do.
But above all, the right to be safe in one's religion is more important than anything. And in the words of George Orwell, there is something wrong with a regime that requires a pyramid of corpses every few years.